Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems, welcome back to my channel. I've never done this setup before, but you know what? It sounds crazy in my headphones. But anyway, today I am coming to you because I wanted to talk about one of my favorite movies, Electric Children. It was written and directed by Rebecca Thomas. You might know Rebecca Thomas as the director of episode 7 of season 2 of Stranger Things. It's the episode that everybody hated. I didn't hate the episode. I just felt that maybe they could have gone a different way, or maybe kept with the theme of other kids like 11, but it kind of just felt like a one and done. Hopefully they bring that back in season 4. Whatever. Anyway, that's not the point. Today we're going to be talking about Electric Children. Electric Children is a movie about a 15-year-old girl named Rachel. She lives in this Mormon community that is very religious. Rachel finds a blue tape. She finds a blue cassette tape, listens to some music on the cassette tape, and ends up pregnant. And then she goes around telling everybody the reason she's pregnant is because she listened to the music on that blue tape and that God got her pregnant through that blue tape. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm about to spoil a lot of things because I have my own thoughts about who got Rachel pregnant, and there's a lot of people who would agree with me. So if you haven't seen the movie, then you should just go and watch the movie. You can watch it right here on YouTube for $10. I'm not being paid to say that. I just really like the movie. I've seen it 125,000 times, and so I think that pretty much makes me an expert on what happened to Rachel. So, if you're ready for the tea, fam, then let's get into it. And I have some notes here, so if you see me looking down at my computer screen, it's because I'm reading, and it's because there's no way I was gonna memorize all of this and say everything I wanted to say perfectly, so we gonna be reading today. Upon my research, I have come to the conclusion that Rachel's stepfather, Paul, got her pregnant. And she is, in fact, not carrying the Son of God, but she's carrying her stepfather's baby. How do we know? Well, number one, let's start from the beginning, the awkward interview. So when we first meet Rachel, she's being interviewed by her stepdad, Paul, who doubles as the creepy Mormon priest. He's very creepy in the film. In fact, is there a movie where Billy Zane does not play a creep? If such a movie exists, please type it in the comments, because I swear every movie I see Billy Zane in, he's playing like a horrible person.
And do you have a firm testimony of God's commandments?
Yes.
Do you sustain Paul McKnight as the prophet, seer, revelator, and do you recognize him as the only person on this earth authorized to exercise all priesthood keys?
Yes.
Pay attention to this part of the film because he declares himself as the bearer of all priesthood keys. What does that mean? It basically means he has the authority to preside over the church. What else has he convinced innocent little Rachel that he presides over? Her body, maybe? Second clue is the missing nightgown. So later that night, when Rachel and her sisters are getting ready for bed, Rachel is unable to find her nightgown, and she ends up borrowing her younger sister's, which is a touch too small.
Look under the bed. I can't find it.
Lights out. Rachel.
I know.
Oh, it's a little small.
Really small. It's mine.
Thanks for letting Rachel borrow it.
My question is, where did Rachel's nightgown go? Maybe something sinister took place and there was evidence on the nightgown, and the nightgown had to be disposed of. Because in this community, as we'll see later, the women do the laundry. So if Rachel's mom had done the laundry and found Rachel's nightgown and found some sinister evidence or liquids on, or, questionable substances on her daughter's nightgown, she probably would have had some questions. So the nightgown had to be disposed of, which is why she couldn't find it. Clue number 3 is the blue tape. So when Rachel finds the blue cassette tape and dances to those words, "Don't leave me hanging on the telephone," we get an inside glimpse of a naive young woman hearing rock for the first time. It's this intimate moment where we see the character being exposed to something that she's never experienced before. And the camera starts to pan up and down Rachel's body, starting at her ankles and then going up to her arms. And then it cuts halfway through and then repeats that motion. And as the camera moves up Rachel's legs to her arms and she's turning, we can see that she has little bruises all over her legs and her arms. How did she get those bruises? Maybe in a struggle with her disgusting stepdad who was trying to take advantage of her? I'm just saying. Watch the movie. It's there. Rachel's mother, Gay-Lynn, nobody calls her Gay-Lynn in the movie. It's just, that's what the credits say her name is. Anyway, the character is played by Cynthia Watros, who has some really funny videos on YouTube if you bother to look them up. But she's grief-stricken and guilty over her daughter's unplanned pregnancy, and she helps her run away. She literally gives her the keys to Paul's truck. Now, why would she do that unless she knew that her daughter would be safer out of the house than in the house with the man that attacked her? 5, Rachel's overall naivete. So Rachel, by her own admission,
Never have I ever had a hamburger.
Oh man, you're gonna kill us at this game.
has never had a hamburger. She's never talked on a cellular phone. She's very new to the world. She hadn't even seen a black person before.
Hello, sir. Wow, this is the first time I've ever met anyone like you before.
Very sheltered and very not of the world. So could it be possible that Rachel also had no knowledge of what sex is? Could she be deceived by her stepfather into engaging in this act and come out with no knowledge of it? Maybe. The thing that really conflicts me as a viewer is Julia Garner's portrayal of Rachel, because she's like so convincingly believable that there's moments when I'm watching the movie where I'm like, well, maybe God really did get her pregnant. Like, I kind of believe her. Like, you want to believe her because the way she's portraying the character, you're just like, there's no way this girl is lying. Like, she wouldn't even know how to lie, right? But I also feel like her stepbrother, who they call Mr. Will, played by Liam Aiken, he's not convinced. So by the end of the film, when Paul tries to persuade Rachel to marry the weirdo that he picked out, Mr. Will forcibly hits him with a car door, because by then he's also learning, like, yeah, my dad did this.
You got a guess?
Nope. None.
Did your dad do it? Did your dad fuck your sister?
Shut up.
In conclusion, Rachel's stepfather knocked her up. I can't really blame her for making up a story that even she believes, because she has to believe it. And that's the way trauma works, you know, like, you have to convince yourself of something so that you can convince other people, because if nobody believes you and if you don't believe it, then you have to face what actually happened, and that can be really scary. So I can understand, and that's pretty freaking terrible that happened. But Electric Children is just one of my favorite movies. I think it has some really memorable performances. I love the writing, the directing, the soundtrack. So good. If you have not watched this movie, if you watch this video without watching the movie first, how dare you? And second of all, you should still go watch it though, because it's still really good. And you know what? If you come away with a different interpretation than I have, and some people do, then let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, and if God actually did get her pregnant and it's an immaculate conception, then tell me how you came to that conclusion. I would love to know. I have tried to watch it from the point of view of like, oh, God got her pregnant, and I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It was Billy Zane, you guys. You don't cast Billy Zane in a movie as a good guy, okay? He is always cast as a terrible person, and this film is no exception. So, anyway, that's all I have for you today, my darlings. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.